So our first idea, social media in real life.
The idea behind it is the narrative will be circular as it's a short film, and the way in which we will incorporate that into our idea, we were thinking of maybe doing like a bedroom at the beginning, and then once the day is done, being in a bedroom again. So it'll be like a day in the life of someone who uses social media an awful lot, and maybe even too much.
Like a full 12 hours.
Yeah, and then so you'd see it from their perspective the first time round, and then the second time round you would see it from everyone else's perspective. And the first time it will be all like happy and as though they're like the most popular person ever.
Yeah.
But then the second time round it will be like they just have their head in their phone, and the point of the film is to put across that people do use social media way too much.
Yeah.
And it's obviously not everyone's like that, because there are some people that don't use social media as much as others, but people who, it's more of a criticism of society of about how social media is put across to be this kind of like amazing thing that could, of course it is amazing, but some people do use it in a negative way.
And our character is someone who enjoys social media and does use it a bit too much.
And they enjoy the attention that they get from social media.
Yeah.
And some of the shots that we would have in the film would be the comments that are written would pop up around his head as they are being written. And in the first, so that would be on the second time round, like the second run through of the day, but the first time would be actual people saying it to him.
Yeah.
So that would, it wouldn't it almost be as though like he's been convinced that what is on his screen is actually happening in real life, like he's been brainwashed.
Exactly, because those people pop up, which is like a sign or like a
image.
symbol.
Yeah, like a symbol image thing.
I like that idea.
Yeah, so almost as though he's been brainwashed by society to live this lifestyle that is just not good for you in any way.
And I think a good tracking shot as well of this guy just staring at his phone would be good for that as well, just to show how engrossed he is into social media, and that would obviously be like the second time round.
And we could see people's reactions as well, like the second time round. People's reactions and the contrast between your reaction to someone if they're constantly on their phone and then your reaction to them if they're actually talking to you.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. What would the catalyst be then? Would it be his phone, would you say?
Yeah, I would say like the comments, or like him opening up his app on his phone. So like not necessarily his actual phone, yeah. So like opening up Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook or something, just to get the comments going.
Yeah, okay. And I think the comments should be, do you think they should just be positive or should they be mixed? Because
I think they should be quite mixed, because I think we really need to get it across that like it's not always
happy.
good.
Yeah, it's not
and
always
it can be that it's not always positive. So the idea is to make it look as though social media isn't this positive thing, but because the thing is, I believe that social media, like, it has been made to be like this good thing. Like, it's not there to put people down.
Well, that's why people made the apps.
Yeah, people made it so that you could keep in contact with like someone in like Australia or something, or you could for free. Like, it's free, and you could literally connect with anyone who has access to the internet. And like the fact that some people were like taking advantage of this, like, really needs to be put out there.
I'm glad our character's male.
Yeah, we're going to have a male character.
It's not someone perhaps stereotypical, and it shows how social media does have an effect on everyone. It's not just, girls.
Because like, there's a lot of
social pressures.
Yeah, there's a lot of like things out there, aren't there, that where it's like, oh, girls are treated so bad on social media, but it's not just girls. Like, I feel like it's enough out there to give girls confidence and, like, I don't know.
So they've got a say because of the media. Yeah, I get you.
Whereas like boys are just assumed to have like it all figured out. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. How would it end? Because
in terms of like audience expectations, because obviously it needs to be
what we don't expect.
I think the flip, like the thing that the audience wouldn't expect, would be us to run through the day again.
Okay. Yeah.
So like the audience expectations, because it doesn't necessarily have to be the end. It just has to be like
Right, yeah. It can
like
be
it has to be
something,
something that's turned that you wouldn't expect to do.
and I think the second perspective is
The-
important because it's supposed to be revealing because it's a message that we're portraying.
Like in terms of inspiration, I think we could just do like social media. Like you could just say that social media has been our inspiration because we've
Well, it
seen,
is, yeah.
because even though it's in our film, we've seen what can happen. Like because we're users of it, so we're like there firsthand, and we can see how people are influenced by phones and media and social media. I mean,
We are surrounded by social media, and because of that, like different media, like TV programs, actual social media like Facebook, we see videos like this, and we see more awareness of the effect it has. So we're definitely like pretty much
yeah, because we're like
everything's inspiring us because
we're
on
there.
our phones every day.
Yeah,
we use
we're
social
like
media every day.
we're
in
the
it.
audience. Yeah.
We are also the audience. Yeah.
So that would be a quite good thing for us to do, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So our second idea, I kind of like the idea of Groundhog Day.
Yeah, so like the film.
Yeah, the film. You know
Yeah.
how they go back and they go back on the day again.
Yeah, but it's just him.
Yeah,
like, just
exactly.
the one guy.
The one developed character. Yeah.
Because that's like our developed character for the short film would be the guy that relives the day again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I can't.
Do you want them like how are they going to relive the day? Are they just going to go to sleep, or are they going to like once they've gone to sleep, they then relive the day again, or are they going to die or something?
I reckon they should die.
Do you think they should
be
like get murdered or something, or just die for some unknown reason? And then they've got to solve that.
Well, obviously it will be an unknown reason to the audience.
Yeah, but like.
But would it be a natural cause or will it be a murder?
Yeah. So like, it will always be like unknown to the audience, but whether we want the twist to be that it is actually just like a heart attack or something.
I think we should, because if we did a murder, then it will also be concentrating on other characters.
Yeah.
And we might get a bit
confused in it.
Might get a bit confused, and the developed character won't be as clear.
Yeah.
I think
so.
Definitely.
In terms of like circular narrative, what would like? I think the thing that we should do is make him like because the circle will be just the day.
Obviously, him
so
reliving the day. Yeah.
So like the circular narrative will be repeated multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So
which I think is
that's it.
That's it really. Yeah. What else is there?
What would his purpose like be to?
What he wakes up and he doesn't remember dying, but he remembers feeling something.
Yeah.
And it comes back to his.
But he would remember
the
day
again, and he would remember the day, or do you think he should?
Well, I think he would remember the day, but I think what should happen is we obviously take an inspiration from the film. He should be really confused the second time he wakes up.
I like that, yeah.
And then he'd be like, "What is going on?" And then, as he lives the day again, he's like, "Hold on, I've lived this day again."
Mm-hmm.
And then, so maybe he could be convinced that it was a dream, like him getting killed, and then suddenly that dawns on him that he's actually gonna get murdered that night.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's good because then you're following the character's emotions as well because the audience is also confused as they're watching it, and then they realise as soon as he realises, obviously, because of the camera will be on him and you'll see how he reacts.
Yeah, and I think we shouldn't have too many other people involved, just because then it will get a bit like a film.
Yeah, I think the way that we won't make it too much like a film is not too much dialogue.
Yeah, and also like in terms of like the audience expectations though, how would we like? Because if they know that he's been murdered, but we don't know who murdered him, how would we flip that round? Like, because obviously they'd be expecting him to get murdered by someone, and if he's murdered by like a criminal, then they're going to expect that.
I think it should be. I don't think it should be a murder. I think we should portray it as if it is someone who has purposely hurt him or has purposely done this. But then it turns out it's not, like, it's a bit of an anticlimax.
Mm.
Do you
like,
think?
it's himself.
Yeah, like, it's himself. He's done it himself.
Like, he's killed himself. It could be, like, an allegory for, like a depression story or something.
It could.
Like, he could be, like, really happy.
Yeah.
And then it could be, it could actually be, like, a way of getting it, like, a message out there about how you can get help with depression. Yeah. Because, like, if he keeps reliving the day, and I understand that, people who are in that situation, it's quite hard. They can't obviously relive days, but I'm saying, if you had the chance to relive the day, what would you do differently? Like, if you saw like our main character walking down the street looking like really depressed, would you go over and like help him and say hello? Or if you saw him and he came in to your shop and brought like a knife or something and looked really sad, would you be like, are you okay?
Oh yeah, okay, I get you. Then when you're depressed, people, the way, I don't know how to explain it, but people they hide it.
Yeah.
To try and be...
Like, make it look like they're not.
Yeah. So perspective would be a really important thing if we did that. I'm a little bit stuck, I'm not going to lie.
I think it should be.
It's just changed.
It has changed. I think it should be. I've actually just had a really good idea. Like, we could see him come into like a shop or something, or come into the scene. And when you see it from his point of view, it's grey and dark.
So the lighting.
And then so the lighting is used. When you see it from other people's point of view, it's like bright and he's smiling and the person that we're focusing on is smiling and looks happy. But when we see it from his point of view, it's all drab and dull and everything just seems so depressing and like self-deprecating. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I like that because then you see it from his perspective. But you also...
And then each time he relives the day, it could be getting brighter from like little changes in the way in which he interacts with other characters.
Yeah.
So like if another character, the first time would just be like, oh, hi. And then the second time would be like, oh, hi, how are you? Did you have a good day?
So it's like very subtle changes.
Very subtle changes.
Not like ridiculous changes.
No, not like, you know. So like the subtle, like, and it could just be putting the message across that subtle changes do help.
Yeah, that like opening a door for someone can help someone's day.
Yeah, so like the first time, someone just walk through a door and just leave it, don't even touch it. Second time, they hold it, and then his perspective brightens up, and we see it brighten up.
Yeah. Oh, we could do like, when we talk about it from his perspective, we could actually do like a handheld like shot from his point of view. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
And then we feel like we're him.
Yeah. So the audience is seeing it from his point of view.
From his point of view.
And then from everyone else's point of views. Well, it wouldn't be, so it would only be from the main character that it would be a point of view shot. So like from everyone else, it would just be like normal camera angles.
Okay.
And shots.
Yeah, like I'm thinking in my head like seeing it from his point of view, but then for like a split second, you do see it from another point of view, but you see how his face is looking, because his facial expression is obviously quite important.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That would be good, yeah.
Yeah, so just rather than another handheld point of view shot, it will just be like an over-the-shoulder shot of the other character looking at him after we've seen it from his point of view.
Okay.
So, and that could be like the audience's expectations being messed with, because if we see it from his point of view the whole day, all like grey and drab, we could then like if we did it again, you know, and like this idea like of him reliving the day from the other point of view, it could be brighter and like you could see his face, and it could just be like really putting the message across that people do hide like how they're feeling.
And perhaps his face from other people's point of view, he might not be the centre of the frame, because obviously the framing, if you put him in the centre,
it's like
he's like the main character, which he is, but he may not necessarily be in the frame because it may not be what other people are seeing of him, which I think is also important, because then the audience are like, oh, I'm looking out for him.
Yeah.
I think that's,
It's like you've got to make an effort to have a look.
So I think we've got...
highlighting the importance of like seeing little ways in which people could be showing
see things, yeah. So I don't think we should do a murder anymore.
Me neither. Yeah, that kind of just went off, didn't it?
But I think it's a more important message, because we started as a sort of thriller-like thing, and now we've gone to actually think about this importantly and what we can actually portray.
Yeah, because I think like what we wanted to do really, wasn't it, just to kind of like put a message across. Like we don't just want to make a film and then leave it as a film. Like we want to put something across to make it important.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the catalyst in this would kind of be, I think they'd be multiple, because
Yeah, you don't
like
yeah.
the little things in each scene. So I feel like it should be a really like dotted about narrative.
Like those subtle things are really the catalyst. I mean, it ignites another feeling. It makes something change, which is the point of the film. So
it'll be like little tiny catalysts throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
Leading up to that one big one where it changes and we see everyone else's point of view.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
I like that. Okay, so our third idea is like I reckon like a conscience, like someone follows someone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're like it's like a version of themselves, but they're 5 minutes ahead, so they can see what's going to happen. And as that shadow, their role is to prevent those certain things happening.
Oh right, so do you mean like a build up of little things?
Yeah, it's like a build up, and I think it should be a build up to his death.
Oh right, so we see the conscience killed as well.
Yeah,
before, or not the conscience, but the time travelling person, if that makes sense. The 5 minutes ahead person.
The 5 minutes ahead person, which I think is a really good ending because it may not be perhaps what people expect. I think if we don't portray it in maybe a serious way, portray it in a more
comedic
way, then it definitely won't be what people are expecting.
And then if we make it like comedic and then make the end quite serious, you're like, oh.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god.
You're like, what? We did not expect that. Because if you make it like, and put like funny music in it, you know, like, I don't like to say it, but you know, like the Wii music where it's like, do, do, do.
Oh no, I know what you mean.
And then they're like, while the like person who's come back from the future is like travelling along, if we put that music in there, that would be quite funny. That would be funny. And then at the end, if you make it serious, then I think everyone who watches it might be like, oh my gosh.
The shock.
Yeah. The shock.
The shock.
In terms of the circular narrative,
yeah,
I think what we should do is I'm just trying to think of how we're going to make it clear that the person has travelled back 5 minutes in the future.
How it's clear who that person is.
Well, obviously they're going to look exactly the same. They're going to be wearing exactly the same clothes.
Yeah, but how's it going to be clear that this is specifically someone who was 5 minutes ahead? Except for obviously their behaviour.
I think just by making it the person who's come back from 5 minutes ahead, them stopping themselves from doing certain things to get them out of danger, that's enough to make the audience think, oh, okay, they obviously know what's happening. They've come back from the future. Which
is quite good because it will take them I don't know, 30 seconds to realise who this person is. I don't think we should start from the start of the day. I think it should start midday.
I reckon it should start like mid-commute or something.
Yeah, and I think the developed character should be the person 5 minutes ahead.
Yes, because we know we've got 5 minutes on them, 5 minutes more on them than the other character.
And obviously they'll be reacting more than the actual character because they'll be trying to stop things, they'll be panicking, you know. We'll be able to understand why they're panicking and all this because we can see it.
Yeah.
So and I think we should see them appear instead of it starting with just obviously the character and the 5 minutes ahead.
Yeah.
See the 5 minutes ahead guy appear.
And then they'll be looking around. You could see them appear, and that's the first thing we see, and then we see them looking around.
Yeah, like.
And then they like spot themselves 5 minutes before, and they could be like behind them. They could be like hiding behind trees, and like the person who's ahead could be like walking under a tree, and then a branch could fall down, and then the person who's behind them could just go like this with their fingers, or like move their hands in a way, and then we see the person stumble to the right, and then the branch falls. So it's like
That'll take some like careful planning though, because of the angles and the shots and redoing it. And I don't think we should use effects on the 5 minutes ahead guy.
No.
I think we should just use camera shots and angles to make it clear. Because obviously the guy won't be able to see him if he tries to avoid.
If we film the character that we're developing, the 5 minutes ahead character.
Yeah.
If we film him from a low angle. Not necessarily like a real low angle, just a little lower.
Oh no, I understand you,
Just to make him look like he's got that.
He's got a little bit more power.
More knowledge and more power.
Yeah.
But obviously because it's him anyway.
They're the same
person. They're the same person. He doesn't have that much more, but he just has 5 minutes more knowledge, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, which is more than anyone else could have, because this is pretty much impossible. But if you give him that little bit more dominance within the scenes, that will give him... And then the finishing, the audience expectations we've mentioned make the ending quite dark.
Yeah, but we can't leave it for too long. So like, the ending can't really be much longer than, I reckon, 10 seconds.
No, this is what I reckon. Then it could be like that we could. So obviously you see this character stopping this other character from doing something.
Yeah.
But it's them. I think what it should be is again something quite meaningful and dark.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're going to do like a drug deal or something, and they're going to do
Of course.
go to something that's quite
Yeah,
sinister in
'cause
terms of like the drug route or something.
we will start, as the audience, we start seeing them mid-commute and we have no idea
Where they're going. Like, where are they going?
Yeah.
And then we see the 5 minutes ahead person trying to stop this person from going to wherever they're going to, and we as the audience don't know where that is, but we just assume that it's something funny because of the way in which we're going to put it together.
Yeah.
But if we put it together funnily in a comedic way, not funnily is not a word, but in a comedic way, then see them doing like a drug deal, that is going to flip with the audience expectations because it's not going to be.
I like that.
It's a good, yeah.
It shouldn't. I don't feel like.
And we could actually see the 5 minutes ahead character getting like more wrinkly and like older, because you know the effects that drugs have. It makes you tired, it makes you look more pale. We could like douse it with powder and stuff like that. Just use
so
makeup.
after shots.
Yeah.
Do you think it should be the facial expressions as well? We'd have to have this actor.
Yeah.
We'd have to have a pretty good actor.
It won't be that hard.
Well, no, not a pretty good actor, but like someone who's enthusiastic.
Mm.
Definitely.
Okay.